Hello friends, and welcome to Ouroboros Tarot. So today we're going to be looking into what's going to happen the next time the two of you see one another. The messages today were super specific, so if there isn't a message for you in any of these piles, it's more than likely because there's just not a message for you here today, and that's okay as well. But I have 3 piles for you guys to choose from today. Pile 1, Pile 2, and Pile 3. Go ahead and pause this video if you need to. Take as much time as you need to find the pile that sits right with your energy as well as with your person's. And I will see you in a minute. Hi Pile 1, and welcome to your reading. We are going to be looking into what is going to be happening the next time you see your person. And the card that you have chosen is called The Offering. We'll go ahead and look further into this card a little bit later, but first we're going to go ahead and do a check-in to make sure that this is your pile. So we're going to be looking at the both of you and how each one of you is currently showing up in this connection. You may resonate with both piles. It may be a split thing where you resonate completely with one and then it resonates completely with the other person for the other pile. If it doesn't resonate at all, it's probably because it's not your pile. So I would suggest looking into other piles, or there might not be a message here for you today, and that's okay as well. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and move that to start pile 1. When it comes to person 1, we have the flamingo, and the key phrase here is "you are what you think." We also have the beaver, and we have the flying squirrel, with the key word being efficient. Person 2 is currently showing up as the lizard brain, with the key word being breakthrough. We have the fish, and we have the hummingbird, with the keyword being navigate. Okay, so what's currently going on between you and your person, pile 1? So it feels like the two of you have probably not been on the same page in the past. Like I would say that it's quite possible that you guys have recently or in the past closed out a cycle and you may not be in contact with one another at this moment, or things are just kind of, you can feel that a cycle, some sort of cycle, is coming to a close currently. It doesn't feel like the two of you recently at least have been on the same page. It feels like this beaver person is somebody who more than likely has known what it is that they want, knows who they are, is aware of being mindful, is aware of setting intentions, and has really had this skill and practiced this type of living for quite some time. And it feels like when it comes to how this person is approaching the connection that the two of you share, it feels like the beaver person is somebody who perhaps has really been giving it their all. It feels like the beaver person has definitely been all in, like they've had both feet in this entire time. I wouldn't be surprised if monogamy is something that's very important to this person, or something that they really desire to have with the fish. It feels like the beaver person knows who they are, knows what it is that they want, knows how they feel about the fish, and because they're aware of this and everything is crystal clear to them, it's very easy for them to see a path when it comes to how to get what it is that they want. But of course, when it comes to getting what it is that you want with another person, the other person has to be on the same page as you. And that's kind of where it feels like there's been a little bit of disconnect. And if you're the lizard, or if you're the lizard brain, like, please don't take offense to that, because what this card, it's not talking about, this card isn't talking about you or the other person currently being in this lizard brain mentality. With the keyword being breakthrough here, what I'm picking up on is that the fish person is becoming aware of the role that they are playing in where they are in life and why their relationships are the way that they are, in why perhaps they don't feel as though they have a destination. I would say that the fish person is somebody who in the past or very recently is feeling as though they're unsure or they're a little bit lost, and they're really trying to, I mean, with the keyword being navigate here, I would say that that's pretty accurate. They're really trying to navigate all of these big feelings. It may very well be that the beaver person is under the impression that the fish person doesn't have the same feelings, like the feelings aren't mutual. And I don't think that this is the case. I think that, yes, there's a disconnect in terms of how each person, on terms of each person's comfort level, in terms of their ability to connect or be vulnerable, be intimate, attached to another person. There's differences there, but the feelings, I would say, are mutual. And it feels like this fish person is having an awakening in which they're realizing that they're allowing their fears to dictate them, and as long as they allow their fears to be in control, they're never going to be on a true path that feels authentic to them. And there's this awakening going on for the fish person currently. But like I said, it may feel like to the beaver person that the fish is really aloof or non-committal or really doesn't feel the same way, and I don't think that's the truth. So if that sounds like you and your person currently, let's go ahead and get into the second part of this reading, which is looking into what's going to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and set those to the side. We have tarot here. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle these. I'm trying to decide what I want to ask, because I have oracles already set to the side when it comes to like what the energy is going to be, like what's coming through most strongly in terms of how the two of you, like what happens the next time you see each other. So I might ask the cards after we go through these. I think I'm going to ask the cards how it is that, like what feelings are going to be there. But we'll see. Let's do this first and I'll see what feels right afterwards. So the card that you guys chose was the Offering. So I'm going to go ahead and put that there. We also have New Beginnings, and we have number 63, After Completion. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is actually just clarify, and then I'll get more oracles. I'll pull more oracles if we need clarification on feelings or anything like that afterwards. Okay, so Spirit, we're asking what is going to happen between the two of them the next time they see one another. What is going to happen between pile 1 and their person? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take all of these. We have the Two of Wands. We have the Lovers. We have the Three of Cups. What is going to happen between pile 1 and their person the next time they see one another? We have the Four of Cups. And we have Judgment. Okay. Why is the Two of Wands here, Spirit? Please clarify the Two of Wands. Okay, we have the Wheel of Fortune coming out. Why is the Lovers here? Please clarify the Lovers. We have the Star. Why is the Three of Cups here? We have the Empress. Why is the Four of Cups here, Spirit? Why is the Four of Cups here? We have the Nine of Cups. And why is Judgment here? We have the Four of Pentacles. Okay, and then bottom of the deck energy, we have the Ace of Cups. This really honestly goes hand in hand with kind of the energy that's already coming through in the present. Obviously, it's much more positive, I think, than what is currently going on with New Beginnings and the Offering and After Completion. It does feel like there's an opportunity for a new cycle to begin, a new rekindling of some kind. And I get the feeling, especially with the Offering here, because what the Offering is referring to is the ability to surrender control and surrender to life rather than be pulled by your fears. So it really does feel to me, pile 1, like the fish person is going to be confronted with, they're going to be confronted with these realizations that they've had the next time the two of you see one another. So if you're the fish person, that's one thing to expect. If you're not, so that's something to expect from them. And with this confrontation of having to confront or like actually look, they're going to see that there is an opportunity here to release those fears. And I see that happening. Like, it's going to be hard. I see it with the 4 of Cups and the 9 of Cups here. What I'm sensing is that I get the feeling that the fish person is going to want to lay things out on the table. They're going to want to offer the beaver person some sort of emotional offering. And I get the feeling that there is a lot of fear here, a lot of fear of rejection on their end. And it's more than likely because they've acknowledged with judgment here. It feels like the fish person has really come to the realization that whatever happens at this point in time and what has led up to where they are currently is truly on them. And so they wouldn't blame the other person if it were not to, if their offering were to be rejected. They would not blame them, but they're also realizing that they can no longer keep what it is that they're feeling inside bottled up. And I don't necessarily feel as though it feels very genuine. It feels like a very genuine offer, and it may very well be, especially because we have this Wheel of Fortune here, and I've been talking about how there's like patterns and cycles that it seems like the two of you are repeating. If that has resonated for you, I get the feeling that if you're the beaver or the fish person, there's concern here that it may not be a genuine new beginning. It may not be that a cycle has actually come to a close. But with the 8 of Cups being the bottom of the deck energy, this is telling me that this is truly a fresh opportunity, and it's one that's genuine, and it's one that is based on love rather than fear. And it feels like if you're the fish person and you're worried about how you'll be received, from what I'm seeing, it feels like there's going to be an opportunity to work on things together, to talk things through, and it feels like you will be well received. Obviously, everybody has free will, and if you're the beaver person and you're thinking to yourself, that's not what I want, I obviously that's your truth, and listen to that first and foremost. But what I'm seeing here is an opportunity that's going to be taken to at least be heard, to hear one another. And I think for the vast majority of you, the beaver person wants to embrace the fish person and kind of celebrate them almost, or I don't want to say congratulate them, but like honor them and the work that it took for them to get where they are, even if it may seem like something really small to the beaver. It feels like the beaver is going to be seeing that this other person is going leaps and bounds beyond who they typically tell themselves that they are. And it feels like the two of you are going to honestly come to a conclusion together, make a decision together. And from what I'm seeing, it feels like both of you are going to be looking at this coming together as something that has been written in the stars or has been destined. It's something that feels so right. It's just falling into place. And it's very easy for the two of you to kind of move forward, make a decision of what your plan is, what your goals are together. And it feels like the two of you are going to be very much so on the same page, pile 1. Yeah, I don't even feel like I need clarification on anything. That's what I'm seeing. Let's go ahead and pull some advice for you guys. Okay. very cloudy. It's a beautiful rainy day. Okay. What advice is there for pile 1 when it comes to their connection? We have failure. I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. What advice is there for... Okay, and then we have imagination. I embrace and nourish the creative aspect of my mind. And we have patience. I accept that everything happens in divine order. So, again, like with failure here, it feels like obviously like what's coming through is this is an opportunity to learn. It doesn't mean that the two of you have to go forward together. However, it feels like both of you, by the time the two of you see one another again, there are going to be lessons that have already been learned. And it's important to see the value in the wisdom that has been gained, I guess, rather than refusing to take anything away from this experience, I guess. And it's a matter of perspective. There's definitely a message coming through here of, regardless of how you feel about this person, regardless of what you want with this person, like if you want to reject them, if you want to be with them, at the end of the day, like what's coming through the most strongly is that your guides are really encouraging you to honor your own peace, to not allow this person or anyone else to steal any moments, any present or future moments of peace that are within you. It's yours and yours alone. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing. And obviously take these 3 cards as they resonate for you. Those are kind of the strongest messages coming through for me, but there's lots of people viewing these videos, and if a message has come through for you, you should absolutely honor that. But thank you so much, Pile 1, for giving me this chance to read for you today. My Etsy shop is open. If you would like to book a reading, please feel free to do that. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and hopefully I will have the chance to read for you in another video soon. Bye! Hi Pile 2, and welcome to your reading. So today's pick a card reading is looking into what is going to happen between the two of you the next time you see one another. And the card that you guys have chosen is the Expel card. This is going to give us some insight into the future, but we are going to first cover the present energy between the two of you. If this doesn't sound like either one of you, I would suggest looking at another pile. It may be that you see yourself or themselves in both piles, and that's okay too. If this is resonating, if this sounds like the energy that the two of you are in currently, then this is more than likely your pile. But like I said, there may or may not be a message in this video for you today. So Pile 2, when it comes to the first person, currently they're showing up as the scorpion fly, with the keywords being let go and bury. We also have the owl, and we have the death's head moth, with the keyword being imitate. Person 2 is currently showing up as the owl, with the keyword being inner truth. We have the turtle, and we have the wild dog, with the keyword being collaborate. Okay. So Pile 2, the first thing I'll say is that this is somewhat similar energy to Pile 1. So if this resonates for you, I would suggest perhaps going back and looking at that reading as well. But from what I'm seeing, I'm going to go ahead and call these people the moth and the dog. And from what I'm seeing with this moth person, it feels like they are not being honest with themselves about something. There is something that is dead, like within their own lives, that they are choosing not to accept. There is something that there is a truth that they have yet to acknowledge within themselves, and because of this, it's kind of spilling over into this connection, is what it feels like, because the dog person is highly intuitive, and is very much so living in their authentic self. There is no confusion for the dog person. They feel very clear-headed. However, and when I say there's no confusion, I mean there's no confusion in terms of who they are and like what it is that what their truth is. But I do feel as though there's confusion on the dog person's end toward the moth, because the moth person does not seem to be forthright about something. It feels like the moth person is kind of like going through the motions and trying to make it appear as though they're okay, or make it appear as though they are what it is that they think the dog person might want. But it doesn't feel like the moth person is going to find the peace of mind that I think that they are searching for until they are truthful with themselves about whatever it is that is going on that they have chosen not to bury, but to hold on to. I think for some of you, this may very well have to do with like finances. Like this person may be appearing or trying to portray themselves as somebody who is successful or as somebody who is comfortable financially, and it feels like that's a farce. If that's the case, like if that's something that resonates for you, that's your message. However, if that doesn't sound like your person, it's not your message. I will say though that the moth person does seem to be kind of mimicking, or like there's almost a chameleon effect, I want to say, when it comes to how they're approaching this connection. Like, I think it's interesting that we have the owl here and we have the owl here. But from what I'm sensing, it feels like the moth person it's more of an imitation of who this other person is. They're like faking it until they make it, essentially, is kind of the approach that this person is taking. And it feels like the dog really wants to work. Like the dog recognizes that something's off, or the dog recognizes that there's only so much that they can do, is what I want to say. And I think it's interesting too that the dog is not facing the other person. The dog is facing itself, like the turtle and the owl. And to me, this is kind of like, it's a representation of this person recognizing that there is only so much they can do for a person who is not ready for help. And so it feels like the dog person is currently helping themselves instead. So yeah, if that resonates, let's go ahead and pull some tarot, and we'll look into the future energies. Okay. What is going to happen the next time pile 2 and their person see one another? What is going to happen? These are very terrible shuffles. Let's get one more. What is going to happen the next time pile 2 and their person see one another? What's going to happen? Okay, we have the 5 of Wands. We have the Emperor. We have the 7 of Pentacles. We have the Ace of Wands. Let's get one more. What's going to happen the next time these two see one another? And we have the 6 of Cups. Let's go ahead. Okay, why is the 5 of Wands here, Spirit? Please clarify the 5 of Wands. We have the 2 of Pentacles. Why is the Emperor here? Why is the Emperor here, Spirit? Please clarify. We have the Three of Pentacles. Why is the Seven of Pentacles here? We have the Page of Pentacles. Why is the Ace of Wands here? Death. And why is the Six of Cups here? We have Temperance. And then on the back of the deck, we have the Seven of Cups. This is interesting. And then we also have Expel. And we have Enlightenment. And we have number 26, Containment of Potential. Okay. So the message that's coming through pile 2 is that the dog person, the person that's like living in their truth and is living authentically currently, seems to be taking a back seat the next time the two of these people come together. And I don't see that person trying to force something or trying to make an outcome happen. Like there's no, it seems more so like the dog person is going to be approaching this connection and approaching the moth person from a state of wanting to find a resolution, even if that resolution means that the two of you are not meant to be together for the time being. It seems like there's a lot of doubt, and I don't even know if it's necessarily doubt. It feels like what it truly is a realization. There's a realization happening, and I think that this is most specifically for the dog. There's a realization happening of like, this is where our connection is at. This is how deeply this person can meet me. This is the truth of what's happening, and the truth is I don't know what's happening on the other person's end. Like there's a realization, but it's also a state of acceptance. There's a moment of accepting things for what they are, and I kind of get the feeling that the moth person is still going to be in this energy of like resisting whatever it is that needs to be released. I'm not sure what it is, but with Expel here, what this card represents is a removal of things that are no longer serving you, a removal of things that are holding you back. And with the Containment of Potential here, there's resistance to it. There's the ability, the opportunity, like there's the capability of this person doing it, and there's resistance to it for whatever reason. And while the dog person seems to have this realization where all of a sudden there's clarity, it feels like the other person, the moth person, is going to still be in a state of like not knowing which direction to go, not knowing whether or not knowing what to do. It feels like if you are, I'll say this, if you are the moth person, if there is something that you're having a difficult time letting go of, the next time the two of you see one another, that's your opportunity to let it go. That's your opportunity to have a new clean slate with this person. And if you choose not to, I would say don't expect the other person to go out on a limb for you or try to make excuses as to why they will continue to accept whatever it is that they're uncomfortable with. And if you're the dog person, if you're the person who is living your truth, it seems like you're already aware enough and wise enough to know that the only control you have is over your own decisions, your own like approaches to things. And I think that even with that, like whenever this next interaction happens, there's still peace to be found. And I think that this has more so to do with the dog person. This has more so to do with this, like, I'm seeing this Temperance card and I feel like this is the dog person. This is somebody who is standing upright, their shoulders are back, I almost feel like they're going with the flow. They're allowing things to go into balance. They're not forcing anything. And with this comes this ability to like forgive, and yet at the same time have enough self-love or have enough compassion to allow yourself to, or allow themselves to kind of take a step back and distance themselves or yourself from this, depending on who you are. I actually want to get some more oracles. Is there anything that I missed? Okay, so we have serendipity. We have mending, and we have loyal heart. Back of the deck is yang. Interesting. I feel very strongly, Pile 2, as though what I've been saying is the truth. Like the person who is the dog person is taking a step back and is allowing the other person to show themselves who they truly are, show them, like, step up to the plate. And it's probably going to be something that's very difficult. Very difficult for them to take on. But it is possible. I feel like it's going two different directions. Like for some of you guys, it feels like this is what this loyal heart card and then serendipity and mending is indicating is that there's an element of like finding peace with where things are at. And like I think if we're referring to the dog person, it's something that just because they're walking away or taking a step back from this so that this other person can step into who they truly are doesn't mean that they're genuinely letting this connection go. It feels like if there is going to be kind of like this step away and there's this ending of some kind, it's something that's more so like a break than anything. And then for, like, it doesn't feel permanent. It's not a permanent thing. It's an opportunity for the two of you to have time to reflect and grow and step into your power. And I feel like for the other portion of you, what this is indicative of is the dog person giving the moth person an opportunity to step up to the plate, and they're going to. As difficult as it is for them, they are going to, because they do not want to. If it's between you and whatever it is that they need to let go, they're going to choose you. or you're going to choose them, depending on who you are. That one was rough. This one was difficult. It feels like the energy is so confusing, and I think it's because the moth person is so confused. It's hard to get a clear understanding when there's this much confusion surrounding everything. But that's what I'm seeing for you guys today, pile 2. Let's go ahead and get you guys some advice. What advice is there for pile 2? We have fear. I realize that I am testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. Purpose. I know what I am here to do. And doubt. I release the need to know all the answers. To me, the biggest message coming through is that it's important to stay true to yourself. Don't allow your fears to take away from you living truly who you are. Don't allow your fears or another person's fears from taking away from your own truth. But that's what I'm seeing for you guys today, pile 2. Thank you so much for giving me this chance to read for you today. And I hope that I will have the chance to read for you in another video soon. Bye. Hi pile 3, and welcome to your reading. Today's pick a card reading is looking into, oh my god, I just completely forgot. I'm such a space case. It's looking into what's going to happen the next time the two of you see one another. Wow, I'm sorry about that. And the card that you chose is Ebb and Flow, and this is going to give us some insight into the future energy between the two of you when it comes to the next time you see one another. But before we get into that, we're going to look at present energies. You should be able to see yourself in at least one of these. You may see yourself in both of these, and that's okay too. But if this doesn't resonate at all, this probably isn't your pile, and I would suggest checking out another pile. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So person number 1 in this connection is showing up as the gazelle. The keywords are shake, release, heal, and move on. That's number 27. We also have the scorpion, and we have the flashlight fish with the keyword being reciprocate. And person number 2 is currently showing up as the fox, and the keyword is almost there. We have the spider, and we have the coyote with the keyword being vocal. Okay, so what's going on between the two of you currently, pile 3? This is really sweet, positive, like gentle and warm energy, I would say. It feels like the two of you are on a pretty good path, like a very sweet path. Like there's a lot of care and compassion and love here for one another. I think that the two of you, which is different than the last 2 piles, but the two of you are very much so on the same page, and I would say have been for quite some time. Or if this is a newer type of connection, it feels like the two of you have known one another for a very long time. But from what I'm getting, it feels like there may be something currently that the spider person is working on, and it could be personal. Like this could be a personal goal of theirs that they feel as though they've really needed to complete or accomplish for quite some time now, and it's coming close to that point. But this also is kind of, this energy is showing up also because it feels like the spider is really reaching for the scorpion. The spider sees the scorpion as who they want, they see a future, and they see something that could really be built or expanded on. And I also think it's really sweet that both of these cards, the flashlight fish and the coyote, are facing one another. I would say that the spider person is definitely has recently, or this could just be their love language in general, but it feels like the spider person has recently really voiced some truths or some emotions that needed to get out. And it feels like the scorpion person has let the spider know that this is like a two-way street. Like they feel just as deeply and as passionately for the spider as the spider does the scorpion. I think the scorpion has also probably had some goals or achievements that they've been working on. But I also feel like for the scorpion, it's more so personal and inner goals. Like these are goals that have to do with self-growth and healing. There are certain things that the scorpion in the past has needed to release. This could be trust issues from something that has nothing to do with this connection. It could be just having resentment for things that have happened in the past between the two of you. There's been a need to release something or to move past something, to let go of some sort of luggage that they've been carrying with them, and that has arrived. And I would say that if you're the spider, you would know very strongly, very clearly that the scorpion is fiercely loyal and protective of you. Like they're loyal to you. This is definitely somebody who you can trust. And I also think it's interesting, just by looking at these cards, the scorpion in this image at where the stinger is, we see this ball of light kind of lighting the way, and the flashlight fish has this ability as well to light the way. And so I feel like I heard like they're keeping the light on, like they've left the light on. And I feel like maybe for some of you, not for all of you, but for some of you, the spider person had some things to do on their own, a journey to do on their own, and now it's accomplished and there's a reunion of some kind. If that's not the case, it's more so like that the scorpion may have already accomplished what it is that the fox is working for as well. And because of this, they have kind of paved the way for the spider person to arrive where it is that they're headed. But if that resonates, let's go ahead and look into future energy and see what comes through. Okay, and we are asking the cards, what is going to happen between pile 3 and their person the next time they see one another? Okay, what is going to happen between pile 3 and their person? So we have the Emperor. What is going to happen? We have the 3 of Swords. We have the Queen of Swords. Okay, we have the 6 of Pentacles. And we have the 4 of Swords. Why is the Emperor here, Spirit? Please clarify the Emperor. We have the 5 of Swords. Why is the 3 of Swords here, Spirit? Please clarify this 3 of Swords. Okay, we have the Ace of Cups. Why is the Queen of Swords here? Please clarify the Queen of Swords. We have the 10 of Swords. Why is the 6 of Pentacles here? Please clarify. Okay, we have the 4 of Pentacles, and why is the 4 of Swords here? We have the Tower, and then on the back of the deck we have the 7 of Wands. Okay. We also have Ebb and Flow. I'll go ahead and put that there. We have delight. And we have number 34, great vigor. Okay. So pile 3, I get the feeling that the next time the two of you see one another, there's going to be a pretty profound interaction, and it's one where perhaps, like, I get the feeling that one or both of you has felt as though this connection has been stagnant for quite some time, or has not been growing or expanding as rapidly as one would like, and it feels like by the next time you two see one another, that stagnancy is going to be dissipating. There's going to be some really sudden and profound changes or conversations in the very least. And it feels like the two of you are going to both be wanting to take this connection to another level. That's what it feels like. It feels like there's a need here and a desire here to kind of like step away from like the thinking things, like constantly thinking or having analysis paralysis. There's this need to let go of that and allow things to naturally unfold. And it feels like for quite some time, naturally what has been occurring, what has been revealed, is that this connection is meant to have more happen. There's meant to be an expansion. There's meant to be a flow. And it may have been something that's been put on the back burner, or has been like the two of you have seen it. You understand that this is what's kind of going on, and yet at the same time, there hasn't been an openness to it. And it may be because one of you didn't necessarily feel ready, or both of you didn't feel ready, but it feels like the time is right. It feels like there is so much, like, I feel like there's this realization, or there's this conversation that's going to be shared between the two of you, where you discuss the fact that there is so much beauty and love, and there are so many deep feelings here, that the possibility of being hurt is something that the two of you would be willing to take a chance on, because there are so many benefits and beautiful things that come with this connection, and it doesn't do either one of you any good to just live in your fear rather than follow what it is that your heart is telling you. If it really does feel like there's going to be a heart-to-heart of some kind, and this heart-to-heart is going to help the both of you realize that it's safe to move this connection along, or it's safe to show one another parts of yourself that you have been holding back. It's really very beautiful. Let's go ahead and we'll get some more oracles and see if there's anything that I missed. Is there anything that I missed when it comes to what's going to happen? We have Y, number 31. We have serendipity. Is there anything that I missed when it comes to what's going to happen between the two of them? Yeah, we have soulmates. And on the back of the deck, we have milk and honey. It feels like, I mean, with ebb and flow here, there are times when, like, essentially what it's saying is that there are times where perhaps a person is not the person for us, like that's not our person. And then there are times when the water comes back and it brings with it somebody who is for you. And I get the feeling that the two of you are realizing, or are going to be realizing within the next time you see one another, that there are a lot of signs from the universe pointing towards the two of you moving forward, being together. There's a lot of abundance here, and I feel as though you're most definitely going to be talking about the future, but I also feel as though there's not going to be any stones left unturned. You're not going to feel confused after this interaction. If anything, the bond between the two of you is only going to grow stronger. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing for you guys. And I don't think, like, I don't want it to sound like this interaction here is coming into light because the two of you are choosing to be brave enough to allow yourselves to be happy. There's an element of bravery here and the choice to be brave that's allowing this to unfold. But let's go ahead and get you guys some advice. What advice is there for pile 3? Okay, so we have discipline. I can accomplish what I set my mind to. We also have friendship. I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. We also have envy. I am the same as everybody, but with different challenges. And we have regret. I know that I cannot change the past. This is interesting, especially if this is a, and then on the back of the deck, fear. I realize that I am testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. There's this message of being brave, pushing past those fears. And I think for some of you, if this is a connection where perhaps the two of you have chosen to just be friends, that could be just like further confirmation for you that this is in fact your reading. But I think that this is just yet another sign. Like I was saying, I feel as though for you there have been a lot of signs that the two of you have been noticing as to the meaning of this person being in your life and vice versa. And this is further confirmation of that. There's a reason for this. And I think that with regret and envy and discipline, these are all reminders based on the calling to be brave in order for you to allow yourself to love and be loved. But that's what I'm seeing for you guys today, pile 3. Thank you so much for giving me this chance to read for you today. And I hope that I will have the opportunity to read for you in another video soon. Bye!